I'm Darla.
And I am Susan. We are with KW Overland Park, and we are the RE Factor. So we have a quick little topic today for you guys, and I know some of you out there that are sellers might not be as interested right now, but at some point you're going to be a buyer.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the buyer's market that we are in right now. So this is winter, right?
Yes.
Heading into winter. So, and most people are feeling like, yes, the market slows down. There are still people that have to sell no matter what time of year, right? There are always houses on the market. So we've come out of a little bit of a seller's market, but things have slowed down. Instead of it being like this is the sellers, right? It's like they've had more of the advantages for the last, almost 6 years, 5.5, 6 years. And so we have watched it do a little bit more of like this.
Right.
So the buyers are now getting a little bit more leverage in the market. So if it's a move-in ready property, you're probably still going to offer above asking.
Right.
That's still happening. Move-in ready is what everybody wants. So that's where the biggest amount of people go. They flock there. So if you are a buyer that's thinking, hey, this is the wrong season for me to get in there, what's some of the things you would say that buyers are saying that is the reason why they don't want to buy right now? What are they out there? What's everybody talking about?
I always change it to where this is the best time for buyers to buy because you don't have as many buyers out in the market.
Exactly.
We are like heading to winter and it's cold outside, right? So this is,
I say the same thing.
Yeah.
I tell them to get out there. There's less people out there.
There's less people. You're not competing, paying $20,000 over. They're not having 5 or 6 offers. Well, some are still having.
If it's move-in ready, they flock there.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it's like you have some advantages.
Right, and we're seeing days on market longer too.
Yes.
So I think
if you want to stay out of the competition, so we know that people were kind of frustrated about the rates when we had the super low rates and then they came back. So there's about 4 or 5 separate, just different indicators that really created the buyer's market to become a little more complicated. So here's where I want to encourage every buyer to get out there now. It's what Darla just said. One thing is there are less people out there during the winter time. If it's not a move-in ready house, it's going to allow you, we just got a house and we were the only person there making the offer. So my buyers just got in, and this was a total rehab house. But here's the other thing, the market just shifted.
Yes.
And some of the sellers, agents maybe, but some of the sellers have been used to like, oh, we're gonna get this 20, 30, 40,000 over asking. And it's hard to get a seller to understand that's the market that was a few months ago. Our industry is constantly shifting, and you have to watch that.
Go back to where we were.
Right.
3 or 4 years ago.
Right. So then people price a little, they're pricing themselves out of the market. And so that's what's causing the days on market. During those times, if it's a longer days on market, you as buyers should be out there jumping on those because eventually they're going to have to drop their price. And so that's another reason why some buyers are getting into houses when maybe other people have moved away because they're waiting for the price to drop. I don't wait for the price to drop. That's my little secret.
Right? Tell us
Tell everybody. Well, because nobody else will be standing there. And if I know that they have to drop, if they're going to have to drop the price, then what's going to happen is that's going to get bumped back out through the MLS to everybody that looked at it. And it's basically get a megahorn and say, everyone come back. And now your buyer is in the middle of all of that rush again. And we're trying to avoid that. So here's what I'm telling my buyers right now. It's like houses are almost more on sale. Right?
Yes.
Because if they have the number wrong, if there's not as many people there, you may not like the interest rate, but I just want you to do this number in your head. You might throw 10, I think 10 is low, 20, 30,000, we even saw 40,000 over asking in the spring. Okay? That is cash to the table that you're going to have available. Cash to the table, right? As opposed to, I'm waiting for the interest rate to drop. It hasn't yet, but I'm not going to take $10, $20, $30,000 cash to the table. If you do the math, you're saving money to buy now. Because by the time spring rolls around, and if the interest rates drop, even if they don't, you just saved that $20,000, $30,000 to the table because you didn't have 8 offers battling and pushing the price up. I am telling every buyer, if you really are serious about buying a house, now is the time. Get out there and shop. I am saying houses are on sale.
Susan, if I can just add one thing in there.
Yes.
Interest rates are higher than what they used to be, right? But just think what you're paying for rent, right? Interest rates, I'd rather be paying 7%, 8% on my home versus paying off somebody else's mortgage, or
Exactly.
paying 28, percent in credit card debt, or paying 15% on your car loan. 0% renting, you are paying more than you are when
Yes.
you're purchasing a home.
It costs more to rent than it does,
Yes.
and then there's no return on your investment.
Thank you. Yes.
So not only that, and then here's what I tell them: if they do the math, how many people stay in their home long enough to pay all that interest? The average is now, it used to be 5 years. I think the
Like 5
average
to
now is
7.
about, yes, somewhere between there. So let's say every 6 years. So you're paying 6 years of interest as opposed to 20 or 30 or 40,000 to the table cash. So if you actually do the math, you're ahead if you just go ahead and move ahead. Then if it does drop, you can refi and get the better rate.
The amazing thing is about 2 years ago, I would help somebody get into a house, right? And then they needed to sell their house for whatever reason. They were walking away with $60,000+ worth of equity in their home.
Right.
So it is definitely an investment. And
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime you can buy. Real estate's always the better investment, always across the board. We know that it's a commodity, just like stocks or anything else. If you go to your stock broker, he's probably not going to encourage you to invest in real estate because he doesn't sell that. But when you look at the charts, and I have a chart, if we can find it, we're going to post it today, and it's going to show you the chart of what all the different investments are across the whole spectrum of where you can put your money. And I'm going to tell you the highest column is going to be real estate.
Yes, I agree. And then also keep in mind, you can always refinance. Like 6 months down the road, if the interest rates drop, refinance.
Then do the
You have
refi.
options.
You
when
do.
buy a house.
You do. Yeah. Great stuff. So anyway, buyers, don't be afraid. Jump in the water. It's fine. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you again next week.